Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This one is for Jay at Jay's Mukbangs. Of course I'm sub to his channel and he's trying to encourage some of his subscribers at least to give mukbangs a go. I thought, well, throwing down the gauntlet, I would give it a go. I'm not sure how often I'll do it, but I'm bringing one to you today. So today I'm having some breaded fish cakes. These were £1 for 4 from Iceland. They've really extended their range of £1 items. It's not ideal. I'm not keen on pre-prepared food, but sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. It says they're a source of omega-3 and these ones can be air fried, oven cooked or grilled. I'm having just 2 of them because I also have a McCain jacket potato. 4 of those were £3.70 from Iceland, which is 92.5 each. They used to be really cheap. You used to be able to get for about £2, £2.50. It just shows you how much things have gone up in the last year to 18 months. Anyway, 4 of these comes to 200 grams. The ingredients are Alaska pollock, which has been minced with dried potato and seasoning coated in a crispy breadcrumb. The jacket potatoes are gluten-free. The Alaska pollock in this product comes from a fishery that has been independently certified to the NSC's standards for a well-managed and sustainable fishery. So here we are. I hope you can see it there. This setup isn't perfect, but it's the best I can do. I have 2 fish cakes and I have the lovely jacket potato with some cheese and beans. I also have some healthy mixed salad. I hope you can see that. I always have some pickled beetroot every day. There's some pickled onion as well. This is home pickled stuff. And I've got some homegrown tomatoes and homegrown lettuce, cucumber from the greengrocers. I might put a bit of salad cream on. Do you know, at the moment it's difficult finding any inexpensive salad cream. It's all Heinz and it's £3, £3.70, which is far too much to pay for salad cream. And I've also got a little bit of lemon mayonnaise. I may have a little bit of that with the fish cakes. That was left over from supper last night. We had salmon last night. And I'm going to be having some homemade apple pie for dessert with some vanilla gelato. So let's get stuck in. I must say that I don't have a huge appetite, so this is the best I can do. I eat with my eyes, so if I have things separately, I'm likely to eat more than if it's all stuffed on the plate. These are the fish cakes, look. They've actually got a nice flavour. I'm not sure how much minced pollock is in there, but it tastes good, nicely seasoned. As some of you know, I'm not a meat eater, but I must stress that I'm flexitarian. I do eat fish and I do enjoy things like jelly and marshmallows, which are not vegetarian. Normally, I don't eat meat because I don't like the taste or texture very much. I've always been that way. I can remember in 1971. We'd been back in the UK, oh, probably 3 or 4 months after returning from Zambia. And my great uncle passed away, my nan's brother, and we went to the funeral in Preston. I was about 8 years old at the time. Robert was 4, and everything on the menu was chicken. Chicken soup, chicken, romaine, and I couldn't really eat it. I kind of thought of chicken in terms of, well, we've just laid somebody to rest. I didn't like chicken. The potato is really fluffy. There, look at that. I hope you can see it on the fork. If I do more mukbangs, I will try and find a way of improving the cinematography. But, well, we all have to start somewhere. It's really nice. The beans are Branston. Branston is one of my favourite brands. Although I will buy beans, any beans that are on offer, but some are definitely better than others. Branston have a lovely, nice, rich sauce. And a good flavour. Some beans, the sauce is very runny. And in that case, I think they're best drained of sauce and used in other recipes. Such as stews and casseroles. Or you can add a bit of cheese to the sauce to help thicken it up, and that improves the flavour. They are big jacket potatoes for the money. Potatoes themselves are not cheap these days. I was going to do some homemade chips, but our potatoes this year haven't been that great and they mush up fairly quickly. I was going to do triple cooked chips, so I'll put them in a pan for 2 or 3 minutes just to blanch them. But when I got to the pan, they were mushing. I'd probably left them slightly too long, but it's the type of potato. They haven't done very well this year. We have planted some more. They will probably be ready in the new year. That beetroot is yum. It's pink beetroot. Every year we grow heritage beetroot. And the pickling vinegar is nice and punchy. I think this is the last jar I have. I have pickles all the time. Sometimes, if I don't have any beetroot, I will go to the shop and buy some, and then I'll pickle that. So I'll boil it up with the skin on, peel it, and then slice it and put it in a sterilised jar with vinegar. And often a few other spices as well. That's really nice. The lettuces are really good. They're big ones. They're not iceberg. They're another variety. So you have a heart, but you have these lovely big leaves. They've done very well. I also have some cut and come again mixed salad leaves on the go I'm very fond of oak leaf salad leaves, and some of those are in the mix as well. I've already harvested a little. You just snip off a few leaves and let it grow for a day or two, and by that time some more leaves have come and you cut a few of those off, so it lasts a long time. You can do lettuce all year round. In the winter, just cover it with fleece. I never have a problem with winter lettuce. It's usually very successful. I like salad during the winter as well as in the summer. Even though I'm all for seasonality, you can have winter salads with celeriac and carrots and other things. Beetroot perhaps. I do love lettuce. The skin on these jacket potatoes isn't crispy. That's because it's been done in a microwave. You could probably cook it in the oven if you didn't have a microwave. And correct me if I'm wrong, you can do them in the air fryer as well. Now to drink, I just have some water. So I've been busy doing some filming this week. Quite a lot of content. I'm going easy on the schedules though, because I've had a bad back. Today it's been aching quite a lot. I have been quite a lot better the last week or so, but today it's been a bit sore. We've had very damp weather today and I'm quite tired. Merlin was meowing quite early on and it disturbed me. In general, if you're like me, sensitive to atmosphere, there seems to be a lot of listlessness in the atmosphere. I blame some of it on the cloud seeding, which is definitely going on. But I do think there's other things going on as well. There's the human resonance as well, which is affecting people. We had a lot of solar flares for probably the best part of a couple of years now. It's been getting more intense. For a start, and the full moon was quite a draining one this time. It was the first supermoon of the year. It was a very powerful one. It's drained people. Even the cats have been sleeping a lot. Some mayonnaise. However, the cloud seeding has been bad. Sometimes you can smell chemicals in the air. It's been kind of misty, dull, very weird. The other day, our internet was down. Vodafone were having problems. It was down for hours. So anyway, could you live without the internet for a while? We certainly could. I believe it's important to be prepping, especially with the cost of everything now as well. I do a lot of prepping of the pantry, and we even have a water bottle generator. But if we had a neighbour who was in need, we'd probably be able to help them. It's important to do that. I've been thinking about future content. I've got various ideas. I'll be doing a few seasonal things, but I'm thinking in terms of preparing meals on a tight budget. I might demonstrate different ways of using, say, pilchards or mackerel from a tin. And there's lots of other cheap recipes you can do as well. For example, beans and pulses. A lot of cost saving recipes come from the Second World War in particular. And some of you know that I'm into Second World War recipes. I'll be sharing some more of those as well as some other historical recipes. But I'm focusing primarily on cooking nice meals for as little money as possible. I believe that everybody should be able to cook at least basic things. It's an essential skill. I don't know if they ever do home economics in schools anymore, but I think that, as well as budgeting and other life skills, is essential and should definitely be on the curriculum. We all need to be able to fend for ourselves, especially in an emergency or when times are very difficult. I'm really enjoying my salad. It's very colourful. I've got yellow pepper, various varieties of tomatoes, homegrown, and the lettuce, the pickled onion and the beetroot, and some cucumber. At one time I didn't like cucumber, but it's grown on me a little bit more. It's not my favourite thing, but I will eat it now. I tend to eat very healthily. I don't think you'll be getting kebabs on this channel if I do another mukbang. However, I might do something maybe with salmon or sea trout, or maybe some cod. So Jay in particular, if you'd like me to do a fishy type kebab, let me know. Dropping beans. Or maybe I can do something with falafels. Or some various types of bhaji's. A stir fry, that kind of thing. Curry. I tend to make my own curry, although there is a very good curry house down the road from us, a South Indian place called Rani's. The food is excellent. Dun and I did go there on Sunday evening for date night. I had a rather lovely lentil and paneer madras. Although it could have done with being a bit hotter for me. I like quite a strong spice level, but it was very delicious. And the bhaji's there are amazing. The onion bhaji's are so crisp. And the couple who run it are lovely. And then there was a table with a nice Afro-Indian family. There was a few children, black guy and his Indian wife, and then another Indian couple. I presume they were all related, they all seem to be family members. And I always think it's a good sign when Asians are eating in an Asian restaurant. There was another couple in the corner, and then there was a couple of gentlemen eating. They look like father and son. It's only quite a small restaurant, although the couple have extended it so they can have functions or larger groups of people dining there. Anyway, it never fails to impress. Dan always eats the beef roast. I like to try different things and change the menu a little bit, and there's more vegetarian dishes on there. Well, that jacket potato is very tasty with the beans. I really do enjoy those Branston beans. So what have you been up to then? My life just seems to amble along. In a rather busy way. Today I've been doing a video on an interesting soup. That I found in a Women's Institute recipe book. It's probably quite an old recipe. Most of the recipes are before the 1940s and maybe from the 1950s onwards. And if you've got a glut of tomatoes, and a lot of them are green, you need to find different ways of cooking them up rather than just maybe making hot tamales or maybe some green tomato chutney. So I found this recipe for soup. So that one will be going up in due course. All gone. That was very tasty. I'll carry on eating my salad. Today my video on pickled onions came out. Last week I was thinking I need to be doing 1 or 2 recipes for foodie Christmas gifts that need to be prepared maybe 8 to 10 weeks before Christmas to give them time to mature. There will be others that don't need that level of preparation. The recipes are very easy though. It's a lot of fun preparing your own pickled onions. Even if you don't enjoy cooking very much, it's a good way to spend a rainy day. Anyway, I think it's a recipe that a lot of men would enjoy doing. They could prepare the onions or the pickles, for example, while they're watching football on the telly. Dan likes watching the old classic Doctor Who on iPlayer. So if he's doing any chores like ironing or preparing something to eat, he watches old episodes of Doctor Who. By that I mean William Hartnell, who was the first Doctor, and Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, Sylvester McCoy, and all those old ones. We didn't have a TV in my family until probably the late 1970s, although my grandma used to rent a colour television. She loved football. So on Saturday she always had the TV on, even if she wasn't watching it, she would listen to it. She often did baking on a Saturday, my mum's mum. She was very into sport. She was from Preston and supported Preston North End. But after she moved to Derby in the 1960s, she started to support Derby County. She also used to like horse racing and would always put a bet on the horses. And she also did the football pools. My nan was a little bit unconventional. She loved taking part in whist drives, and she was so good she used to win every week. So in the end, the place where she went for the whist drives made it known to her that she wasn't really that welcome anymore. I used to play whist with her when we had no money. We used to use matchsticks. I lived with my gran 2 or 3 times, both growing up and when I was an adult. My Scottish granny was also an incredible person, an amazing cook. She had worked as a professional cook. My other granny was a housekeeper. So I learnt everything, all the basics from my grandmothers. And then I continued learning. And expanding my repertoire. My granny though, Scottish one, was making curries in the 1950s. She lived up in the Lake District, and my dad and auntie had quite exotic food therefore, compared to a lot of people living in the Lake District in the 1950s. And she could make the most amazing meals out of very few ingredients at all. I certainly learnt that skill from her. She also lost a finger in the factory, but it didn't hold her back. She was brilliant at crochet as well. I can knit, but crocheting is something I haven't really learnt to do. But my cousin Agnes is also brilliant at crochet, and my American cousin Donna. So I really think I owe it to myself to learn. Agnes showed me how to crochet in the summer, although I did struggle with it, but Dan's videoed it, so I will watch it again. She's a very patient teacher, is Agnes. I hope I can do justice to her teaching. Of course, I do sewing. I've done embroidery and all manner of things. Crocheting is not that much different, really, to knitting. The difference is, of course, that with knitting you've got 2 needles and crocheting you've just got 1. And that's what I need to get my head around. That's what the penny hasn't dropped yet. Hopefully it will do soon. All clean. So now let's go on to the dessert. Well, this is my apple pie. Big old chunk. This is the beautiful pieces of apple. There. All homemade. Right, so here is the gelato. It's Romeo. It's an expensive Italian brand with real Madagascar vanilla. You can see the vanilla flecks. Of course, it's not an ice cream, it's a gelato. So gelato has a lot less cream. It's a slow churn mantecazione process. So you've got less air and a little cream. It's less fat, fewer calories and a smoother texture than regular ice cream. It's no artificial flavourings or colours or preservatives. It's 100% natural. It's made in Italy. This is 462 millilitres. I bought this from Ocado. I think it was still £4 or £5. The jar itself is also made from 100% recycled plastic. I can't wait to try this one. I do like gelato. I might do a video on gelato at some point. Look at that. I'm going to have a couple of scoops of that. Dan and I really bought this for when his mum came down. But we had so many other yummy things that we didn't get round to eating it. Dan's staying at his mum's tonight, so I thought, well, I might as well crack open the gelato. Oh my god, you can really taste the vanilla in that. The vanilla. Benissimo. Molto bene. That is gorgeous. Look how smooth that is. I mean, if you go to a posh ice cream shop, say in Covent Garden, it's £5 or £6 for an ice cream. Here, it's not cheap, but you've got a whole pot of gelato there. That will probably make 4 decent size ice cream cones or tubs. Now this pastry is different in that it's made from pizza crust. This is based on a recipe the Hairy Bikers shared in 2012 in their first Hairy Dieters series. So it's just basic pizza dough, so you've got your yeast as well, and you leave it for an hour, and then you roll it out as thin as you can or as thin as you like. But it's a fact that pizza dough used as a pie crust has a lot fewer calories than normal pastry. All you've got is the flour, yeast and salt. Although if you want to, you can add a drizzle of olive oil to the dough, but it's not necessary. So an individual meat pie might be, say, 650 calories, but one made with pizza dough might only be 350. So near enough half the calories, not exactly. I also make potato pastry, which has fewer calories than normal pastry. Now, potato pastry was very popular during the Second World War. And you needed to use a lot less fat than you would. But the Hairy Dieters also made a version of potato pastry as well. Again, it's got a lot fewer calories than normal pastry. You can make potato pastry with either mashed potato, but don't add milk or butter. If you want a softer pastry, which is really nice if you're making Cornish pasties or say cheese and onion pasties or anything like that. But if you want a firmer pastry, you can grate the potato. It's very crusty, but the apples are really sweet. I used Granny Smith's. I've got 6 on the yellow ticket for very little money, and I used 3 of them. The whole pie was about the size of this bowl. So enough for 4 good portions. Now it's gone like cream. It's still okay in the pot though. I didn't need to add much sugar to the apples. They've still got a little bit of texture, but they're lovely and soft and sweet. That's a good pie. I'm not very good with pie crusts. My teeth aren't what they used to be. I've got quite a lot of cosmetic dentistry. My teeth are worth a lot of money. I was one of those unfortunate souls who was over-drilled when I was younger. Which weakened the teeth, that's what my dentist has told me. In other words, I had fillings when I was younger that I didn't need. It was a trick by sometimes NHS dentists. This is a fruit tea from Tea Angels. It was a gift a year or 2 ago from a friend of mine. It's got orange peel in, hibiscus, black tea, licorice, apple, and it's delicious. I'm not keen on licorice, but it's just very slight in the background, so it's actually very nice. Nice and fragrant and relaxing. I tend to drink mainly herbal teas or water during the day, and in the evening I usually have 1 cup of normal tea a day. Sometimes I have a coffee with milk, but mostly the only dairy I will have is yogurt for breakfast each morning. Natural bio yogurt, Greek is the one I have at the moment, Yo Valley organic. I like Lancashire Farm as well. I usually get the 1 kilo tubs. Bovine free. They're based up in Branston, which is a village near Preston. Dan and I have family friends who live around there. And I do like cheese, certain cheeses anyway, like sharp cheddar for example. Sometimes a bit of brie. But I don't eat the rind. I like red Leicester as well. And sometimes things like Lancashire or Wensleydale regional cheeses. Tasty Lancashire is one of the nicest. I also buy the Garstang brand of cheese. All those brands are bovine free, so they haven't got that methane reducing additive in the cattle feed. I also buy butter and guest cheese and raw milk every couple of months from Fen Farm Dairy, who are based in Bungay in Suffolk. The milk is absolutely gorgeous, very similar to Jersey milk. They have Montbéliard cows, which is a smaller variety of French dairy cow. They produce beautiful milk. This dessert is so nice. Honestly, even though the gelato has melted, it's like eating vanilla cream. It's absolutely gorgeous. A nice alternative to custard. The only mistake I made on the pie crust is I slightly overworked the pastry. So it's slightly more chewy than it should be. But it doesn't really matter. It's very tasty. It came out very well. Nice and browny. Plenty of flavour. Mmm. Mmm. So that's it, folks. Nice big chunk of pie crust. Let me know what you thought of this mukbang. Although it wasn't an absolutely massive plate of food, but as I said, I can't eat massive plates of food. Various courses, definitely. Especially Jay, I hope I did this justice, Jay. And maybe you or anybody else can let me know if you would like me to have another go at doing a mukbang and what you might like to see. I have a few ideas what I might do. Please let me have any other comments, but keep it clean. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. It's important, the way the algorithm is now, that you at least like my content so it's easier for others to find. Please share. Please subscribe if you would like to. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Until then, bon appetit and bye for now.